Like, and then he'll just walk away. And so the whole workout, you're like, forget the workout. I'm more worried about why did Coach Rebo walk up to me and say, "Are you living right?" You know, and it's like,
There was no portal when you were playing. I mean, there
yeah,
was none of this portal stuff. This is all relatively new, right? So
yeah,
if you were number 6 on the depth chart, whatever it took, I mean, you had to find a way to climb up.
we can go rebuild this program. We can go do what we got to do because we're all winners. We're all gonna,
Mhm.
gonna work hard at our craft to get where we need to get to.
When your players aren't playing to the standard, you know the outcome's going to be bad at the end of
Yeah.
the week. All right, Chase Fourcade, welcome, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Excited. Just living this coaching world and getting into that. But I'm loving every opportunity. I'm blessed with every opportunity, and just excited about what's to come.
Oh man, look. So you're not going to say it, so I'm going to say it, but congratulations,
Yeah,
Nichols Hall of Fame. You
it's
are
great.
officially a Hall of Fame quarterback, man. How does it feel?
Yeah. I mean, I got chills when you said that. Just because I'm a little things guy, and the stuff that got me to where I am now is because I took care of the little things, and eventually over time they made the big things. And at that time, I might have not seen that, but I knew over time it was going to pay off. So, but obviously, you can't do that without great people around you and great staff, great teammates. And I always talk about that. When you have a Southern Left on the other side that are disrupting people, and Evan Veron, and I can go on, Alan Pittman, Hezekiah, all these guys that on defense, we had one of the best defenses, in the FCS at one point, and
Hmm.
it's that helps. And then obviously with a great offensive line, with the offense that we had, I couldn't really do it by myself as far as the RPO game and the run game. It was we're averaging 4 to 5 yards a carry. I mean that's just you start every drive with 2nd and 5. It's like, all right, you can really do anything, on the field.
Right.
But I think
Hmm.
all that goes together just about, the accolade that I did just receive. And, it's a blessing. It's an honor. I did not see that coming, when I first committed to Nichols. But
Yeah.
I just knew when we took care of what we needed to take care of, I just knew it was all going to happen as far as us being successful,
Hmm.
So
And
I'm just
humble
excited.
as ever, man. Humble as
Yeah.
ever. I
Oh, yeah.
mean,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
talk about your teammates all you want, but we both know it starts with the quarterback, it
Yes,
starts with
sir.
his mentality, and then it
Yep.
trickles down to everybody. So the leadership,
100%, G. 100%.
unmatched, man.
Yep.
Unmatched. So congratulations to you. And we're going to dive into this a little bit. And I'm really excited to just kind of touch on, your background, where you're from, and what got you into football. And I know you're
Yeah.
probably good at every sport you've ever played. And, just what made you settle on quarterback and that
Yeah.
mentality. And then, of course, when you made the decision to say, I want to make something out of this. I want to be a college quarterback. So,
Yes, sir.
just jump on into it and we'll
Yeah.
take it from there.
Yeah. So, I come from a football family,
Mhm.
Fourcade family. My dad, he played at Shaw, Archbishop Shaw, and also my uncle played at Archbishop Shaw back in the '80s and
Mhm.
in the late '70s, early '80s, and then they earned scholarships. At one point, my uncle was the number one quarterback in the state, or I think in the nation at one point, and he had
Mhm.
offers from everywhere, but his mentality, like my mentality, was he wanted to play early, so he committed to Ole Miss, and then my dad followed right behind him to commit as well, and they had a great career. My uncle played, 4 year starter at Ole Miss, ended up going to play with the Saints for 7 years or 8 years, something like that, and then my dad the same way, so that kind of filled me in on being a football just fan.
Mhm.
When I was little, because they just, when I was 6, 7 years old, my dad was coaching at a playground in Metairie, Clary Playground, and I was that little kid that was, these 13-year-old guys, right? I'm a little kid, 6, 7 years old, maybe 5, and
Yep.
I'm grabbing the dummy, hitting them in the dummy, or just being involved and just
Yeah.
kind of being that annoying son, to the head coach. So I just loved being around football, and I started playing at 6, 7 years old, and I just again fell in love with it. I think my first play ever was a QB sneak for a touchdown. I think it was on the Florida Gators.
That's a story. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's man, it's just been awesome. I think that was just the start of it. I think each and every year I grew. Each and every year I loved it more. I wasn't just a
Mhm.
football sport, just football. I was a baseball guy, basketball
Mhm.
guy. I mean, I can pick up a ping pong paddle whenever and play that. So golf as well. I got into that as well. But at an early age, it was those three sports. And
Mhm.
I think I took pride in all of them. I took that serious. I didn't just go in there at 8 o'clock and, have practice and leave at 9:30. It's kind of stuff that,
Yeah.
I just took my mind to, just because, like, we talk about mentality. Like, my mentality wasn't just to get by. My mentality was, if I'm doing this sport, how can I be even better than I was yesterday at this sport? And I think, over time it got to that. And I think and what helped me a lot was my parents.
Mhm.
They the support, and obviously my brother. My brother has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair, and
Mhm.
the stuff that he couldn't do, he was living through me to do that. So
Mhm.
I always try to make him, smile, happy. I don't think I ever saw my brother Taylor. I don't think I ever saw him just upset or crying. I mean, crying for joy after we beat Kansas, but like legit crying. I just never
Yeah.
seen him do that, just because he's just a real stand up, humble guy, and he's 5 years older than me. He's 33 years old, so
Mhm.
he just always been around. He's always been my brother that I take pride in. I've always been my brother that just he always wanted the best for me, because he
Right.
just knew that he couldn't do that. So
Right.
uh, all that being said, I think that's what made me. Again, we talk about that process of just me being who I am.
Mhm.
Eighth grade football, then ninth grade football. I never forget, we playing St. Aug in ninth grade game. I did absolutely terrible. I mean, we
Right.
won the game, but like, just flat route, threw it at the ground, or
Yeah.
over route, threw it over. Stuff that
Yep.
I worked on every day. Then that night, that was the start of it all. That night, I told my dad, I was like, "Look, man, like, I want to work. I want to keep working. I want to, like, go to the playground and work some more. Like, I want to, I was to get my homework and schoolwork done. But 8 o'clock, like, let's go through some more." And it could be 45 minutes. And this is my freshman year of high school at Rome.
Right. Right.
I'm also on the varsity team that won the state championship that year. But like, my goal was to be the next guy at Rome. I had Damian Williams in front of me, role model to me. But ended up going to play at Mississippi State. He's a quarterback trainer in Dallas, and he's kind of getting more, in the state of Louisiana, with James Tyree and
Mhm.
Damian Williams and JP and all those guys. But just crazy how it all works out. I've been knowing James forever. I've been knowing Damian forever. But we all just have that unique mindset of playing quarterback. And
Right.
Damian did a little bit different as far as the run game. James was just a pure passer, and I was kind of that guy that was the guy that just didn't want to slide, So I was that guy that just kind of low on the shoulder. But the day back to that, my freshman year, terrible game. Go play, After that, I go throw with my dad, and ever since then, that freshman year to my state championship, my senior year, I would go throw 3 days during the week. We always played on Saturday at Rummel,
Mhm.
so I'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll have my game plan with me. I'll bring my receivers with me, and this is at 8 o'clock at night, Grant. So Uh, with all that being said, I just think I just took pride in just the position I was in. I knew what was at stake. I knew what my expectations were at Rummel, number one program in the state.
Mhm.
Shit, from my freshman year to my senior year, and it was like, okay, Chase, you're the guy now, and that's kind of my mentality as far as my mind, or my mindset as far as being a quarterback is. We can't be that normal. I say normal player. I don't mean that with
Right.
everything in me. O-line, yeah, you got to do extra work, but those are the guys that practice starts, they're there, practice in and they're out.
Right.
But a quarterback and receiver, like, look, we got to be those guys that, hey, Dejon Dixon, look, I know you broke your collarbone, bro, but hey, D-Ray, I need you to come to my apartment. We're gonna watch film. We're gonna do everything that we have to do
Yeah.
so you can be ready, because you're my guy now. This is my senior year, D-Ray. Like,
Yep.
I can't go out like this.
No.
Dejon broke. So all that being said, that was just my mindset going in. And I think I got that at an early age with my dad and my mom, obviously, mostly my dad, because he was the one that was pushing me.
Mhm.
But just, one thing about my dad, he wasn't a guy that you're going to play football. You're
Right.
going to, do this just because I play football. No, it was just, oh, you want to go to Rummel? All right. We're 2 lights from Rummel. Let's go to Rummel, But
Yep.
when freshman year hit, Jay Roth, you got him, and that was it. And I had to put the work in to get the result that I needed to get to. And so all that played off at a young age. And I think all that, everything that I've been through as far as football, got me to where I am now. And that's why I tell the quarterbacks in my quarterback room is, I hate talking about my experience, but my experience got me to where I am now,
Right.
and so the ones that listen, obviously get it. And, some of them take some time, take some trust. Obviously, that's with everything, but it's coming along great.
Hmm.
The result is not what it is right now, but again, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the impact and
Yeah.
how did I make this guy better is what it's all about. And I think having great role models like Damien, having great coaches from every level. I mean,
Hmm.
I first talk about my dad. That was my first coach. Uh, Freaking Buster from freshman football, hitting me in the helmet, just getting my mind right, just wanting the best out of me. And then Coach Roth, teaching me Conrad 26G, as a freshman, and I'm running that same play as a senior. That was just the biggest uh, thing about Romo, all about discipline, all about tradition. And I was that guy that I'm doing my research every week, each and every week about Romo. I'm looking in the history books. I'm looking in the record books. I'm looking at guys that played the Craig Stelts, the Carvin Johnsons, the Scott Busons that played in 05, 06. Kevin Peters played safety, played at clear. All these guys that been there, done that. The only thing that they didn't have was a state championship. And I'm just like, all right, I'm wondering why. What was that
The missing piece.
missing piece that got us to, our first state championship was with Damien my freshman year. All right,
Yep.
we beat Barb. Snapped the ball 2 seconds with the play clock. That's stuff that I remember. I stood on the 49-yard line, didn't play not one snap of varsity football my freshman year, Grant. And I didn't care. I did not care
Yeah.
because we played freshman football, So, but all that being said, I know I keep telling him about that phrase, but those little things is what got me to just loving the sport, and I think
Yeah.
that goes a long way. I talk about Nichols, later, but
Yeah.
the stuff
Hey.
that I remember isn't about the X's and O's or the practices. It was the perfect positive Thursdays from Coach Rebo, or the, practice execution equals game reality, or do right. That
Hmm.
was the biggest thing. Rebo, I tell the story all the time, was we're in the weight room. It would be a 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 workout in the weight room or something like that. 6:30. And it'll be
All
like
right,
6:30.
my son just
Nah, you
busted in and
good,
said,
dude. You good.
"Hey."
He's probably listening, probably wants to be the same thing, So but yeah, Rebo at 6:30 in the morning. And he's the guy, like Coach Rebo, he's the guy that, like, he's a man of many words, but when he speaks, well, you better listen, and it's
Yeah.
like he'll just walk up to you and be like, you living right? And I'm like, and he'll just walk away. And so the whole workout, you're like, forget the workout. I'm more worried about, why did Coach Rebo walk up to me and say, "Are you living right?" And it's like, we're 4-1, or 4-1 in conference. We just won 4 games in a row. Like, it's like, what made you say that? You know what I mean? But all in all, he just don't want you to be complacent. All in
Right.
all, he just wants you to do the right thing every
Hmm.
single day, regardless of who you are. And that's just what got the best of us. So I think all that, but at an early age, got me, and I'll talk about it. I said it earlier, but just got me to where I am now. And I
Hmm.
think, playing different sports, being around different people, being in different learning experiences got me to, loving whatever sport I play. I'm
Yeah.
still like that today.
Competitive nature. Yeah.
Just the competitive nature, and I think that's the biggest thing with, I see that with a lot of guys now. It's, everybody's so, I'm gonna play baseball all year. I'm gonna play football all year. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Well, no, how about just go experience a sport, or go
Yeah.
go try out a sport? It's
Right.
okay to fail. It is okay to fail. My
Yeah.
first freaking college pass was a pick in front of 95,000 people, Grant. I mean, like,
Georgia.
hey, Georgia. I threw a back shoulder fade to JP. That was my high school receiver. We ran stick. The only play I knew at that time. At that time. Then, they playing 2-man. Dude made a great play. Dude was inside trail technique. All right, dude, you got him. Hey, came back, 2 touchdowns, whatever. But, I had to fail at one point. I had to
Yeah.
get hit in the mouth. I had to stumble on a rock. Like, not everything was this. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I think all that plays a part. I think that's
Yeah.
why the quarterback position is the best position, I think, in the world. We highest paid.
Yep.
We're the highest paid, but the less physical. It's more mental,
Right.
So
Right.
And I thought about that, with the situation. And it's. I'm not putting this on, the quarterback. I'm just saying, like, the inexperience at times comes with that. The inexperience of telling that last night to my mom that I went to the game. I was like, Mom, like, a 3 4 year guy is looking at that situation like, all right, I'm gonna hand the ball off. I'm gonna live to play another down. We got
Yep.
the 2 minute warning coming up. We're up three. Like, all that stuff. But the
Hmm.
guy that just wants to make plays is gonna throw that ball, knowing, okay, we got a 3rd and 1, and if we do, if we don't get the third one, we're gonna go for it on 4th and 1. Like, I understand that. Like, I get that part of it, but um, I just think that's why we're the best
Yeah.
position in the field. And
Yeah.
all
And I
about
mean,
all
like
about
you said
mentality,
too,
right?
I mean, the big thing you said too is that, you got to have some adversity. You
Yeah,
know, there was no portal when you were playing. I mean, there
yeah,
was none of this portal stuff. This is all relatively new, right? So
yep,
if you were number 6 on the depth chart, whatever it took, I mean, you had to find a way to climb up and you had to
I
test
agree.
yourself and see where you were at.
I
And that's
agree.
something that we're missing a little bit of now. Whereas, am I going to play? No. Am I going to get paid? No. Okay, I'm transferring and then I'm out.
Yeah,
And then you go on to the next. At some point, you got to face that discomfort and say, okay, here I am. I got to find something else to make it work. Like your edge was going to the park at 8 o'clock at night 3 times a week. You say, I'm
yeah,
making that decision. I'm not going to be average. I
yep.
got some
That's
big
it.
shoes to fill at an elite program.
Yeah,
So something had to change. The pattern had to change. And what did it lead to? Of course, you couldn't see it. There was probably many times at 8 o'clock at night where you said, man, I would love to just kind of take a shower and go to bed,
yeah. Like,
or
wow,
I would
like,
love to
out
just
of
go
here right
play PlayStation, go to bed.
now. Yeah,
But no,
that's
I got to get
true.
it done because
Yeah,
eventually it's going
one
to pay
hundred
off.
percent, 100%. Yeah, man, you hit the nail on the head with that average. Again, hate being around average. I hate being average. It's just and anything. I just got a PS5. I don't know why I got it. I really don't know why I got it.
Probably for recruiting. So you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
hop on with a
yeah.
recruit
Yeah, that's
and
it. I
chop
know,
it up
that's
there,
it. That's
huh?
it. Nah, it's just So I got my golf. I love playing golf now. But that's another thing. We talk about golf. I just got after I was in the CFL and the quarterback room was all golf, 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 and I'm like, oh, man, I don't even know how to swing a club, G. Like this is So I get released and I come back home like, dude, I was like purity golf, and
Yep.
but going along with what you said about average was. Hey, I didn't get lessons or anything, but like I just kept working, just kept swinging, kept swinging, kept swinging. And over time, you get to where you need to get to. And again, I'm not where trust me, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But
Hmm.
it's more fulfilling when, you've been practicing at the range and you go to the course and you put it to life. So
Yep.
all that stuff pays off. But yeah,
100%.
the PS5 got the PGA game. I'm not a game console guy. Trust me on that. When spring football started, I didn't play this console for 2 months. And
Yeah.
summer hit, I got a lot more time. And then fall camp was like, yeah, push that to the side. So, uh, but yeah, man, I just like to be around just
Yeah.
sports. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got to deal with it with the brother-in-law with Goog. I
Yeah,
mean, this
Colin
guy.
G, man, that's my
I
guy, dude.
mean, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
my daughter's 3 years old, racing him in the backyard. He's not letting her win. He'll
Yeah,
make
see,
her think he's kind of
oh,
like he's
oh,
just no
oh,
matter what
hey,
he does. Y'all the same way. It must be
Colin,
you
man,
New Orleans
that
guys,
dude.
man. I don't know.
I, hey, I hit a hole in one in front of Colin. I don't know if he told you that. Yeah,
No, no, he wouldn't tell me that. He
yeah.
doesn't want anybody else to
So,
look better or
and that's
better
the
than him at
difference. Like
anything. He would never tell
that
me
was
that.
like the most like Grant. I'm not even kidding. We was at Bayou Country Club, hole two, the par three, 178. No, I'm sorry, 171. I hit an 8 iron, and Collins, his vision's not. His vision's not. He told me it's not there, right?
Right.
And so I'm playing. I think I was playing with his cousin. So I hit the ball and I don't see the ball anymore. And I'm like, and so Colin's like, dude, I can't even see. And his cousin's like, hey, like literally just like this. He's like, hey, bro, I think your ball's in the hole. And I'm like, what? And so we get to the green and I'm videoing and I've seen the video. And I'm like, Kyle, I'm like, that ball went in, right? And he's like, yeah, it went in. And I'm like, this dude here,
Yeah.
like,
Just
yeah, like
nonchalant, like, yeah, I
nonchalant.
think you
No,
got it.
just being. Yeah, I think you got it. Like, just being not. But that's Kyle. That. But he tells
Oh,
me all the time. He's like, Chase. I got one more loss. I got 0 losses in the Cali League, and you got one. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, you got it, dude. You
he can't
got it.
stop. No,
Love
he
it.
can't
No, but
stop. He's
again,
nuts.
those are the guys that I want to be around. Those are the
Correct.
guys that's gonna, push you to a point because he did
Mhm.
it. He's been there. He's done that. He knows the ins and outs of just how to be great, and that was a great that offense that he was in. They gave him the ability to check. They gave him the ability just to be the
Yeah.
quarterback of the football team. And I think
Yeah.
all that stuff, plays a big part of what he's doing right now. So why not go
100%.
play it for a guy like that? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Right.
all that stuff makes sense.
Yeah. So let's fast forward. So I mean, you're a state champion quarterback now. You are the guy in Louisiana. I mean, you've set the tone. You're unstoppable. So now it's decision time, right? So what are we thinking in terms of college?
Yeah.
What's affecting your decision? And what ultimately led you to Nichols?
Oh, so crazy recruiting, but uh, the one decision that I truly made, like for myself, and
Hmm.
I don't want to be selfish in me saying that, but it was really where my heart wanted to go, and that was the Nichols.
Yeah.
And because of the coaches. And that's why
Hmm.
I give so much credit to Coach Rebo, not Tim Rebo, Coach Rebo, because of the word that he said. And this is dating back to my junior year when he was at UL.
Mm.
I go to a game. I go to a game, and there was this coach, Coach Johnson, who's the quarterback coach. I think the co-offensive coordinator. I don't know. I think he's at Minnesota.
Hmm.
He invited me into a game. Coach Lucas, linebackers coach. I guess he was recruiting the South Louisiana, and he invited me into a game. So I go to a ULL game. Me and my dad. I never forget this. And we're in the indoor facility. Tables around. I'm sitting with me and my dad. Not coach. I'm not even a kid. Not one coach walked up to me before that game to come talk to me. Just about, hey man, what's up, Chase? Man, glad to have you here. Da, da, da. Like none of that. Besides one guy, Tim Rebo. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So all they told me though, I'm not even kidding. He's like, just wait around. He's like, I don't know what I got going on yet. I got something coming up, but just stick with me. This is probably like 2014. Yeah, 2014.
Hmm.
Because he took the job in 15. But he just told me that. I'm not even kidding. But that was the start. ULL, indoor facility. He told me to stick around. Boom. 2014, after we lost to Jesuit in the semis. We'll talk about that later. Whatever. Coach Lee gets the offensive line coach at Nichols.
Yeah.
He brings us into the classroom. I'm at lunch. He's like, Chase, you mind coming to meet with me in the classroom? I'm like, what else? I'm like, we're a month out of losing to Jesuit. Like, what else do you want to talk about this game? Like, we lost. Coach Lee, like, we lost. He gets in the classroom. He's like, man, fellas, I just want to let y'all know that I took the job at Nichols. And me, I'm like, Nichols? Like nobody goes to Nichols, nobody like that was our mindset at the time.
It was in a bad, they were in a bad spot at that
They're in
time.
a bad spot, and I just at that time, and it was reasonable for us to say that, but to go on with it, he's gonna come my senior year. First off was Arkansas State, Walt Bell, great guy. Obviously, coordinator, I don't know where he's at now, but it's Arkansas State, Austin P, Northwestern, McNeese, Nichols finally came up. Coach Lee called me in the library, called me and offered me a scholarship. And then going into my senior year, my dad was like, look, I don't think they're going to wait around on guys, to commit. I'd rather you just commit now and, get it over with and focus on your senior year. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I committed to Nichols. Why? Coaches, the people. I got Evan Veron that's at Riverside. He's a winner. Sully Lesh, winner. Larion James from UI, winner. All these guys that have that mentality, and we keep talking about it. I know it's the topic, but that's the mentality that we had was, we can go rebuild this program. We can go do what we got to do because we're all winners. We're all gonna,
Hmm.
we're gonna work hard at our craft to get where we need to get to.
Yeah.
So in that process of recruiting, that was my pitch to going to Nichols, and then late after my senior year of football, Maryland called me, University of Maryland, College Park. Why? Because Walt Bell was the OC at Arkansas State. He gets the job at Maryland.
Oh yeah.
Well, he calls me uh, in January. February was a signing day. He called me in January. Hey, look, Chase, I'm coming down to come see you. Like, are you still open for recruitment? And I'm looking at his bio. He says offense coordinator at Maryland. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm still open to recruitment. Like Big Ten, like Division One. Like, fuck it, right? I'm still open. I know I'm committed, but hell yeah, I'm still
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
So we're in the coach's room at Rummel in the field house. Walt Bell, my dad, and myself. He's looking at me dead in my eyes. He said, Chase, he's like, I'm offering you a scholarship. Are you coming? And I'm like, I
Whew.
mean, but I'm not like Grant. everything I'm saying right now is 100% to like the truth. And I lean back and my coach, like, I gotta come visit. I gotta come check it out. I gotta come meet the coach. I don't know anything about Maryland, and the reason why I did that was Dwayne Haskins was committed to Maryland. He decommitted to go to Ohio State, so they needed to find a guy. And then we
Oh,
go, you
wow,
know,
what a small
that's
world.
my world, right? So then we get up to Maryland. It's me and Lindsey Scott on the visit. Me and Lindsey Scott are just we're awesome friends. Everything we're talented up there, but he brought us both up there. And long story short, I called Walt Bell on the flight. I said, "Look, I'm sticking with Nichols. I appreciate the opportunity." Hung up in my face, like complete, just didn't say a word, just hung up in my face. I'm like, hey, whatever. So then the flight got delayed, so I had to stay another day. I fly in on a Tuesday, and sign days on that Wednesday. So that Tuesday night after baseball practice, I had to go to my house and sit in my living room and make the decision of my life, like literally. And so I'm sitting on my couch, brother to my left, mom. She don't, my mom's a Nichols. She's a grad, so she went
Right.
to Nichols. So she was all for whatever. And then my dad, so I told him, I was like, look, I'm sticking with Nichols. And for the first minute, they were like, what? Like, you skipping FBS Division One? And I'm like, I didn't think of all that. I just thought of I got a chance of playing early. I got a chance of being around guys that really care for the way I play, the guys that really care for what we can do for this program.
Right.
And all that stuff played a part, and that's why I give so much credit to those guys, Rebo, Lee, even Coach Rob, those guys that just, in home visits, taking me out to eat, just telling me, giving me Coach Rob, when I signed, he's throwing me concepts on Twitter DMs, Twister and Diamond and Pearl. I'm like, Coach, like, I don't know. And he's like, watch Clemson and Alabama national championship. Like, that's who we're going to be playing in the month. And I'm like, all right, yes, sir, Coach. I'm not going to really, dissect, but like, yeah, I got you, Coach.
Right.
But, I finally signed, man. I finally signed. And just like, I'm thinking about it right now because like Nichols was so special. Like Nichols is a special program because they have special people and they got
Yeah.
great people. The community, they're going to back you always, but it's the people, and I was just blessed, and I was blessed that Coach Lee took the job. I was blessed that Coach Rebo, told me that, hey man, look, stick around, 'cause I'm gonna get this head coaching job at Nichols. Like,
Yep.
and then for him to stay, so like, and then for him, his word, like I'm not like he'll tell you too. He sat on my couch in my annual visit. He's like, man, like you can do, a lot of special things here at Nichols, and like for him to say that, for him to drive his car, go to my house, have that on his mind, to say that. It's like, okay, like I can go off his word. Again,
Right.
that's one thing about Rebo is this guy that he's gonna keep his word. So with all that happening, I signed, and going to my I graduated I think May 20th of 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
10 or 12 days later, I'm working out at the weight room on June
Yep.
1st. So
Yep.
it was again all that recruitment process that didn't really get a lot of looks. I threw the ball 15, 20 times a game, but I won a game. I found a way to win.
On the way
46,
to win. Yep.
40,
Coaches want winners.
46 as a Rommel. I'm really 34-6 because that 14-0 season, my freshman year, I didn't play. But go 10-3 and 11-1 and 11-2, but three state championships, 2 winning, 1. So I'm not saying all that gets you offers. I'm just saying the mentality that I did have, sparked a lot of guys around me to go do what they did.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I talk about this all the time. My 4 receivers I had, David Hensley, just 3-year starter at Roma, beast. Jamar Chase, his sophomore year is my senior year, and I'm not even kidding. Like I knew this guy was going to be not who he is now, but just a guy that just loves football. Like I used to pick him up in the West Bank to go throw. I used to do a lot of stuff so he can be comfortable with my throwing, and then he can also be accustomed to knowing the play. He was a DB at Roma, and Coach Ross said, "Look, you trying to play?"
I remember that. Yeah, Coach O wanted him to come play. Or no,
DB.
Les Miles wanted him to come
That's
play
my
DB at LSU.
DB, and so Coach Raw's like, no, like you're gonna play receiver. You know, you just it's just hey, you want to play early, like, or you want to sit around, you know, play till you junior. You know, so played and you know, Kobe Brunet, a guy that you know, probably my number 3 or 4 receiver at Rome, but then he goes and walks on at LSU, was on 2019 national championship team, earned a scholarship, played on every special teams, and I mean, he's on the
Yep.
wall right in front of the stadium. Like that's his stuff.
Yep.
Like, but
Yep.
he put forth the effort. You know, he's
Yes.
a guy that, and, you know, we got a lot of guys that came from Rome and went to LSU. You know, with that type of mindset. You know, so.
Hmm.
But it just it goes along with the coaches. It goes along to what we got going. I think all that stuff pays off. But as far as that recruitment process, you know, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of times I would go to football camps and I'm like, why am I here? I know I'm not getting the reps that I'm supposed to get.
Yeah.
But I know my film standing out. I know my film, you know, throwing a cover 3 seam versus cover 3. Like I know why. You know, Curtis still runs that same defense to this day. Like I know.
Yeah.
Just the ins and outs of why is Romo successful. It's not because of the players. No, it's because we do the same shit each and every day, but we do it at the right time. And same thing with you guys, you know, with y'all's offense. Like y'all got to be disciplined, sound, technique, every single play. And if it's not like that, I'm not gonna say it's a loss of game, but it just doesn't look right. You know what I mean?
No,
So
it turns into a cluster. Let's
cluster,
just
you
say
know what I mean?
that.
So like all that stuff, like even from the receiver going to get the safety versus versus a too high look, so the corner can be free and we're gonna make the corner miss. Like that stuff right there was stuff that we just took pride in. I'm not talking about our 11th grade year. No, I'm talking about my 8th, 9th, 10th, you know, but all that stuff paid off for myself to get where I need to get to going into college, you know. So I was just blessed. You know, I was blessed with just great coaches and great guys that just, you know, just stayed on me, even when we're Grant. We number 1 in the state, 5-0. Tuesday afternoon practice. Coach Rob walks off the field. All the coaches walk off the field because we just had a bad practice. And, you know, us were like, you know, let's stay out, man. Let's go through the plays, and we all go back in. But like, it was that moment where, look, we can be at the highs, but if you're not doing what we're supposed to do,
Right.
then I don't want to be around that, you know.
It's gonna, yeah, when you have like a standard, I've learned this over the years now. This is year 9 coaching varsity, and when you have a standard
Yeah,
and you're like, as coaches now, you see it too. When your players aren't playing to the standard, you know the outcome's gonna be bad at the end of the
exactly,
week. And it's
exactly.
like that's what they're saying. They're like, y'all can think whatever you want, but if we don't practice this way right now, it's not gonna be good on Friday. And
Yep.
it never fails. It
That's
never fails.
true. And I think it goes along with Rebo used to say this too. Like he used to have on a poker chip on a chapter of a book. It would say like E plus is R equals O. You
Hmm.
know, and it's like
Love it.
when he tries to explain that, it's like, bro, it all makes sense. You know, the event plus the outcome, you know, equals the result, or no, event plus the result equals the outcome. You know, something like that. That just it stuck with me. You know, the kernel code of prize. You know, the
You choose
five.
your
Yeah,
response. You
because
choose it.
all those stuff plays a part of your preparation Friday night and myself Saturday night, you know. So
Right.
those stuff just it trickles down, you know, and whatever level that you're at, I think. And if you're trying to be successful and trying to hold that standard, it could be like it could be coaching a football team, or it could be managing you know, a pharmaceutical team. You know, like my
Right.
dad's a pharmaceutical rep, and like they love competitive guys. They love guys that play the sport. They
Yep.
have guys that don't want to be average. They want guys that love what they're doing. And so they're going to do anything and everything to not be complacent to get where they need to get to, you know? So all
Right.
that stuff plays a part. And I think me being a quarterback helped me through all that stuff, you know, but
Right.
just blessed, just blessed.
So let's fast forward now. So you get to Nichols, all right? So we got to talk mentality here because, I'm all in on mental performance now. So I mean, I
Yeah.
got to
I
get
love it,
behind
dude.
get
I love
behind the
it.
scenes on this one.
Yeah.
Your first start is your true freshman, correct? True
Yep.
freshman going to Athens, Georgia to play the University of Georgia.
Yep.
Correct. All
Yeah.
right. So let's talk about this here. I gotta unpack.
Crazy.
Tell me the nerves. Tell me how you're getting through it. What's the mindset, the self-talk, the focus?
Yeah.
I mean, lay it all out, man. I
Yeah.
gotta know because I could
And
not imagine.
again, chills talking about it. Like, it's just, again, before I talk about this, like, why does this mean so much to me? It's because, you know, I put so much effort, so much time, so much just I don't know, just preparation to get to where I am, and then again Georgia, first game, true freshman, and then to talk about that was I didn't know I was gonna be the starter come Saturday morning, but that Friday night, obviously I knew, I was taking the 1 reps. Me and this grad transfer, Devin Powell from Tulane, we both was, I'm not saying battled it out. We had Toscani that was already there, and he hurt his foot, and I was kind of the next guy up, and that was the start. We get into the game, and that we Georgia played North Carolina the week before, and we're watching them, and we're like, I mean, I get it's Georgia, but like there's a lot of gaps that we can get to. There's a lot of gaps that we can run the football. There's a lot of gaps that we can throw it. It's Kirby Smart. It's first season at Georgia. So
That's right.
He's a defensive guy. I just know he's going to come with some exotic blitzes or some coverages that were just like, what the hell is he running? But then when you get to the game, it's like it's football. It's 11 on 11,
right.
First and 10. Same football from when I was in Thibodeau on that Tuesday afternoon to Saturday morning and after.
Same field.
Same football. It's the same football, The grass is unbelievable at Georgia. The grass is probably the best grass ever played. Okay, like we talk about the little things. Like that was stuff that just, from the locker room. I just posted that Hall of Fame thing in that locker of my pass. That was my first game, Matt Porsche. He took that picture. Shout out to Matt. And I used to call him Jesus because he was our chiropractor, and I was the guy that every single game, like I was getting Thursday afternoons after practice, and then Thursdays before practice, and then before games, like that was my guy that I had to just, and then he'll give me a little pep talk and give you the hardest hug of all time, But that was that's stuff that I go to that ceremony on the 25th. That's stuff that I'm gonna just talk about because it meant so much to me. That's why I am today. But to go back to Athens, 11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, so you don't have time to sit around all day thinking about it. I mean, you got to wake up.
Zero time. And to trace back that Friday night, CJ Bates, he was my receiver, his senior year, my freshman year. He came in with Rebo, him and Jarrell Rogers. And he texted me. He was like, "What's your why?" Right? And like, I still got it in my notes. And he's like, "What's your why?" And it was just. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold up.
This is good. This
is awesome. This is awesome. Damn, where's it at? I can't find it. I think it's. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna find it real quick. But anyway, he was just like, "What's your why?" And then, what's my why? My why is simple. And again, I don't know if you can see that the date, September 9th, 2016.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? So. We played on the 10th, September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
It was, what's your why? Mine's simple. I know I talked about my brother earlier, but that was just, that was my why. That's why I did what I did. And that right there kind of just calmed me down as far as, okay, man, like it's just a game. It's a game that it's your first start. We all knew that. It's your first start of just playing with a Nichols jersey on. Yeah. But my mentality going in was, I don't care who we play. I was looking at we were 52.5-point underdog.
Yep.
I told Evan Barrow, and I said, Evan, if we lose by 52 points, I was like, I'm quitting the next day. Like this is just not who I am. It's not who I am, Grant. So right. We get to the game, man, walked in, Coach Rubio he would always bring us on the field first, and just seeing the stadium. And actually my dad's first start at Ole Miss was at Athens, Georgia too.
No way. Wow, that's crazy.
Between the hedges, so right. That's what he called it. But the game itself, a lot of too high, a lot of stuff that after the second half, so before the second half, Coach Rob at halftime, look, Chase, I just threw my first touchdown pass I'm sorry, we're down 10-7 going to half.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, y'all are in it. I mean, I remember.
Yeah, we're in it. And then Coach Rob at halftime said, "Look, Chase, you're gonna play the first 2 series, and I'm gonna give a series to Devin Powell." I'm like, "Coach, whatever, man. Yes, sir. I'm a freshman." And then first series, we drive down the field, we punt. But I'm like, "Oh my God, like they're in too high. We're running benders. Like I threw the bender. Like I feel good. I feel back into my element.
Mm-hmm.
Second drive down the field. I'll throw a back shoulder on a twister. Come back, throw a dig on, we used to call it Dover. come back, I throw a bubble, Grant, that I wasn't even supposed to throw the bubble on inside zone. Well, I'm looking out there. I'm like, okay, well, they're in a 2 high look. The alley defender's looking at me. Why not just throw the ball out to Jarrell? Jarrell scores. Jarrell scores.
Wow.
So we're up 14-10 or 14-13 to the University of Georgia. I get on the headset with Coach Rob. He goes with Devin Powell. Nothing on Devin Powell. Like everybody asked me this question. Why were you in? Why were you not in? Like Devin lost up. No, Devin not. No, they sent two from the same side, and we're in play action power protection. They sent two from the same side. We only can pick up one. We didn't get picked up. Strip sack, fumble. They scoop and score. That's the unique thing about the game of football. Like that's
Yep.
like I talked about last night. We lost by 3 points, but like that stuff right there, it just comes down to one or two plays. At the end of
Always.
the day.
In those
But
games, yeah.
in those games, but again, Devin does good. I get back in the game. Come back, throw a fade on 200 fade, a slide protection fade to the end zone to CJ Bates, and um, man, like we 26, we scored 26-24. We're down 26-24. We kick it off to them, and I'm like, look, we just get one stop, just one stop. We're going to drive down the field and score. And we had Nick Chubbs on a 3rd and 8. We're at a gap. He handed the ball off to Nick Chubbs. He gets the first down. We lose. So, but the experience
Crazy.
was unbelievable. The
Hmm.
experience of just, I don't know, like with mentality. I don't think
Yeah.
my mentality changed as far as who I was. I think what
Right.
changed was, look, you're in college. The game's gonna go quick. The speed, the quick. Like that was the biggest thing from high school to college was the speed of the game. That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
the biggest thing of hey, he might not be open right now, but no, he is open right now. But if you hesitate or take another hitch, he's late. You're late.
It's
So
over. Yeah.
it's over. Like it's
Yeah.
just, and I think in high school I got away with that at times because I'm waiting for the guy to get over. Hey,
Yeah.
she's Steve Dunbar, get over, bro. You're open. Oh, all right, now you're over. I'm gonna throw it to you. So like,
Yeah.
and now it's like I gotta throw this ball out on time, or this pack or a 7-step post to Dejan. Like I gotta go
Yep.
rod and fake. I can't rod, take a hitch, and throw. It's late because I gotta throw that ball before the hash, before the safety. I gotta get there because if I don't throw it before the hash, I throw it after the hash. Dejan gets hurt. Then Dejan dropped the ball. They're gonna say, "Why did Dejan miss? Why did he not catch the ball?" Well, nobody's going back and saying, "Well, no, Chase Fourcade was late on the throw. That's
Right.
why." They don't look at it on that end of it. So, I think all that experience in Georgia, just that was the start of it. Because you look at it, we had redshirt freshmen on the field, sophomores on the field, true freshmen on the field.
Yep.
And then like it just set us up for something great. And then we played in Cardinal Word that next year. I mean, the next week, beat them at home. Come back and play South Alabama the week after
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
at South Alabama, and we lose in overtime because we went for two in overtime and we didn't get it. So
Yeah.
just another great game. That was my welcome to college football hit right there. I don't know, it's probably on YouTube of college football hits, but I got smashed. But
Yeah.
uh, I think and we talk about adversity. I think all that stuff. I lose 6 games in high school. I lost six games my first year at Nichols, and we
Yeah.
go 5-6. So I'm thinking back.
Adversity.
I'm
Yep.
thinking back is it did I make the right decision? Like, did I do what I had to do for me to get to where I need to get to, or did it because Maryland 3 quarterbacks got hurt my freshman year, and I'm like, should just went to Maryland. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Like you just
Yeah.
all that stuff plays a part, but being around the right people and
Yeah.
credits to Coach Rob, my OC, like just he was that guy that just always tried to put me in the right position, but also had my thinking in my mind like, look, you're just peeking backside safety here. Like
Yeah.
whatever he does, you're doing opposite, and that guy corners lie, but the safeties up here they never do, So I
Hmm.
think all that played a part in just my early success at Nichols as far as just
Yeah.
bringing his team to where it needed to get to. And I
Mm.
think all that stuff, played a big part
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
4 years there.
There was definitely no stone unturned from, the amount of work you put in. So
Yeah,
it's like it all just went into it and you were ready. I mean,
I was
plain and
ready.
simple, you were ready. And I love what you said about your brother and the teammate because, I've I've worked with Ben Newman now, who was
Yeah,
5 years at BAM as the mental performance coach. Now he's with Kansas State, Nebraska, and Caitlin Clark's team with the Fever. So he, the first thing we do when we implement our program is we call it the burn, which is your fuel that ignites your passion.
yeah,
And the first thing we do when we're elevating performance, like you did that when you wrote that note down about your brother, you always had that in the back of your head to help you kind of just see the big picture of everything, right? To
yeah,
just kind of play free.
100%.
And that's what we call the burn. So your brother was your burn.
Yeah,
And, we challenge everyone we work with to say for 30 days straight, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is write down your burn and watch how your life changes and watch your performance as you stay
golly.
disciplined and take action when you start your day with that. You don't start your day laying in bed, checking your phone, feeling sorry for yourself. You got to go to
Yeah,
school, go to work. You wake
yep,
up and you say, I got to do this for something bigger. And then you
yep.
go get after it. And
Man,
that's a full story, the
that's
full
God.
thing unfolded right there.
Guys, like, look, Chase, you're gonna do this interview this morning. You're gonna get hit with some points that's gonna just make you an even better person, coach, whatever. But I'm gonna start doing that.
Oh
30
yeah.
days,
Well, I'm
30
going to send
days.
you a burn journal. I'm going to send you a
Please,
burn journal up
please.
there in
I really
Arkansas
want
and,
to.
and,
I got a
and
lot
you'll
of time
love
on
it.
my hands. I know I'm a college coach, but you know, credit to Coach Brown out here. He gives us a lot of time for on our own. So I think
Yeah.
that would be great for me. But yeah, man, it's just passion. I'm just passionate about what I do, and
Yep.
all work and dedication to my craft just got me to where I am now, and I'm gonna just keep doing it.
So let's end with this. So now you're Hall of Fame quarterback. Now you're coaching college football. You're Division I quarterback coach. Think of a young Chase right now watching this, right? Think of a
Yeah,
young eighth grade Chase. He likes playing football, he likes playing baseball, likes basketball, but there's just something about playing quarterback, that position, and even
yeah.
anybody who's just looking to play college football and kind of live what you've lived. What are you looking back at that eighth grader and saying right now, say, look, if you're going to make this decision, this has got to happen. You better change your mindset. You better change your discipline. And this is what you need to do ASAP. What would you
Yeah.
tell that eighth grade Chase right now
Uh,
before that decision to say, I want to go to the next level and be a champion?
I just just how important is this to you? How important is you know how it's that's a good question. That's something that I think every question you hit, man, I'm getting chills talking about it. That's why I look forward to it, man. I had a reminder on my calendar about this.
Well, let me tell you, by the way, this isn't a one and done thing. I'm having so much fun. We're gonna have to do this like very
Yeah,
often because I
I'm
love the same thing with James. We got
I'm
into it
so
for an hour
about
and a half, and I was like,
James.
okay, we
Yeah,
got to do this like once a week or something, man. This
it's
is too
like
much fun.
just think about it, like James, dude, me and James, James was at Holy Cross. I was a manager at Holy Cross when James was in varsity. I was a
Uh-huh.
second grader and he was a freshman. But we always just knew each other. I used to hang out with his brother Frankie, So
Yep.
we all just knew each other. But Greg Dykeman, another that was James's best friend. We all playing ping pong. We used to call it paddleball or extreme ping pong or something like that. Where if you lose a point, you got to turn your back and we hit the ping pong on your back as hard as you can. But our mindset though was I don't want to get hit in the back of the head, so I'm gonna do my best to go back and forth in ping pong. But that
Hmm.
was just the guys that I was around each and every day. But we'll talk about that later. As far as just that, I don't know. Just
Oh,
it's
I'm getting you and James. Next time, all three of us are jumping on.
dude. Yes,
And
let's
it's
do it.
happening.
Let's do it. I'm so about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. To go back to that eighth grade chase, man. I think what's important to you right now, and I think in this day and age, you're getting a lot of distractions as far as um, your drive or oh damn, you failed. Oh yeah, you ain't gonna make it.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of these guys now, I mean, me being a quarterback trainer for that short span, as I saw that with some of these parents was, you know, if my son don't get an opportunity, I'm a transfer, or if my son don't, you know, starts that first game, it's the end of the world. No, your son's a freshman. Relax. I did
Right.
not play one snap of varsity. I did not give a shit if I did, and even if I did, it's awesome, great, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, what's important to you now? And if this is something that you do want to do the remaining of your high school career, going to college, what are you doing after practice? What are you doing? to prepare yourself. You know, what are you doing? Again, right, like Grant, like everything I'm saying, like this is stuff that I've been through, stuff that I did, the experience,
Mhm.
like so I can only talk about that, you know. So,
Yep.
you know, what are you doing to perfect your craft? You know, what are you doing when you're laying down in bed? Are you on huddle? You know, or are you researching the roster or seeing, you know, that freshman cornerback that, you know, he's just all robotic. He's looking to the sidelines, getting the signal. He's cover three. Okay, I'm bailing deep third. Okay,
Yep.
like that stuff goes a long way. Like I'm gonna attack that guy every chance I get because I know he's being robotic. You know, he's not
Yeah.
being a guy. Let's see, like a Jermaine Roberts at St. Aug, committed to Texas. You know, top 100 guy. He can freelance. He can do whatever because he knows I'm playing against a sophomore quarterback, first year starter at Roma. So I'm gonna try to mess with him or just those type of guys. You know, and I think you know that's the stuff that just makes you just a better player is those little things that you could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the
It
importance,
compounds over time.
man, it just
The
compounds.
more, the more, the
The
more.
more, and you talked about it earlier was you might not see it now. You might not see it
No.
now, but
Hmm.
over time, it's gonna pay off. You know, and so a lot of times where you can ask my dad. My dad would come. My dad would come at the park with gloves on, like
Hmm.
legit receiver gloves, and he'll drop a pass, and I would get so pissed because, again, I'm a little things guy. Because at Clay Playground, when it's dark out there, when the lights are on, I'm not dark. When the lights are on, the grass gets dewy. So when that ball's on the ground, my ball is slippery or wet or whatever. I gotta wipe
Yep.
it down. So let's just keep the ball up. You know, let's just catch the football there. You know what I mean? So like it's just all those stuff though that
Little things.
but there was a lot of times where I'm like, man, why am I out here? Like or you know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
tough to get my receivers there, or you know, working on a game plan, or you know, we're playing 0-5 Shaw. Why are you out here? You know, why are you out here? Because you know you're gonna beat them. No, that wasn't my mindset.
Doesn't
My
matter.
mindset was I gotta keep doing what I gotta do each and every day so I can get where I need to get to each and every day. You know, and like this is stuff
Hmm.
that I love to do. You know,
Yeah.
and that goes on to my other point is, you know, John Gruden talks about all the time. I actually met him at the Manning Fashion Academy, and he's like, "Do you like it or
Yep.
love it? You know, are you a guy that like it or are you a guy that loves it?" And I want guys that love it. You know what I mean? I want guys that love waking up in the morning and you know we have 6 o'clock workouts at Nichols. I'm there at 5:15 in the morning just to get treatment on my back. Okay, when I'm getting treatment on my back from Tyler, I'm watching film in that little cubby hole.
Yep.
That's just another edge. And we had huddle when I was at Nichols, which was
Yep.
awesome. I think
Yep.
it was free. I'm not free, but it was like just free to get to. You know, and like
Yep.
we have extras, and you got to go through all these files. But boom,
Yep.
huddle right there. You know, um, you can filter it by however you want, but those things right there, never being late to a workout, you know, that was the stuff where, okay, are you doing right? You know, are you a guy that's, you know, hanging out with the wrong crew and, you know, showing up 8 o'clock team meeting, you're showing up at 7:55, 7:56, you know, and it's just like,
Hmm.
you know, you're the quarterback, man. Like you're the guy that, again, you're an eighth grader. You say you wanted to play this position, you know,
Right.
but again, you're an eighth grade. I get it. You know, you don't know what you want to yeah, you want to be a quarterback. You just don't know the ins and outs of it just yet. You know, and I
Hmm.
think being around coaches, great coaches, being around, and, you know, not great coaches, but just coaches in general that want the best out of you, you're gonna start seeing that.
Yeah.
But all that stuff plays its part. I think as an eighth grader, you know, you gotta understand, okay, what's important. All right, you know, are you perfecting your craft? Are you doing right? You know, are you a guy that's you know, just an asshole, or you're just a guy that just
Right.
a cool guy, you know, or you're a guy that's, again, like I said earlier, never. I had one op punishment at Nichols. Ask Coach Rebo. Yeah, if I'm lying, I'm dying. You know, like I had one op. One op was, you know, we're running every 5 yards. You know, you got to do up down. I had
Yeah.
one up. Why? Because I didn't weigh out after a fall camp, and it was me and Dontrell Taylor. Coach Rebo looked at the sheet and was like, "Yeah, Fourcade and Taylor send me out to practice." I'm like, "What the fuck I did?" You know, like he's like, "Oh yeah, you forgot the way out." He's like, "Just jog to the 50 and back." I'm like, "Oh yeah," like because like why is he telling me that jog to the 50 back? Because he knows I'm not a guy that doesn't
Right.
that did everything
You've
right.
already established the trust.
You know,
Right.
and
100%.
that was just where it's at. And I think at an early age, at Rummel, with that discipline, with that tradition, it's like okay, how can I how can I not have Coach Roth get on my ass for the little things? Okay, show up on
Hmm.
time. All right, you know, I'll never forget that one morning. We had a 6:45 meeting, position meeting. Coach, I woke up at 6:43. My mom was like shaking me. She was like, "You got a meeting, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "What time is it?" Like, I was a big shower before school, so my mom dropped me off, and I used to like, so Coach Roth had this small room at Rome,
Uh-huh.
and he's watching film, and man, the door's open, and I'm like crawling underneath their desk to get to my spot, and I look up at the board, Grant, it's already Fourcade in capital letters rolling, and I'm like, oh, like it's late, but
Yeah.
just a day back to the question, man. It's just as an eighth grader, like experience every sport, experience the failure,
Hmm.
experience the coaching, experience the what it takes to be a quarterback. Because you're not going
Right.
to get it all in eighth grader, not even a ninth grader.
No.
Fuck, not even
No.
a 10th grader. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys
Correct.
play so early, and their success should be like this, but at sometimes, it's not. And again, should I go back to you guys? Did any of y'all think y'all gonna start the season 0-3? Nobody.
Mm-mm.
Nobody thought y'all played a tough ass schedule. I don't know, it was 0-2,
Mhm.
0-3. I don't know. It was one of those. But like y'all played a tough ass schedule. But y'all fought in trust me, I watch y'all's Edie White YouTube link. I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And but like that's passionate reporters that love doing what they do on a Friday night to get the best out of you guys. But like
Hmm.
to go back, like y'all wasn't expecting that. But
Mm-mm.
but is Grant Chiasson saying, "Oh, I'm done. I'm retired. I'm done coaching"? No, like he's still waking up. Sure, he game plan today. Sure, you got to go to practice tomorrow. Get ready for Friday night. But like
Yep.
that's the stuff that we live for. That's the stuff that's gonna make us who we are in the future. And so
Right.
that's why I'm blessed with everything that happened to me in my life as far as where I am now. I'm blessed with just again. I always talk about great coaches, obviously great teammates. I mean, you can't be who you are without great teammates.
Right.
Um, but yeah, man, it's just the little things, man. Like from taking the O line out to eat from my freshman year to my senior year at
Yeah.
Rotola every Thursday afternoon. Like
That goes a long way too.
that was every
Feeding
Thursday,
the O
man.
line goes a long way.
Feeding the O line every single Thursday. I'm not even kidding. You'll be like, hey, Dad, send me $100. I need it. It's that stuff. Like I got a
Got
refund
to.
check every month, but I got to pay for rent. I got to do this, but I took time to do that after every single practice. I'm throwing slant, back shoulder fade. Like that stuff right there means a lot to me. And it's
Yep.
just. But as an eighth grader, that's where I got it from. So it just again, it's
The start.
all
You
that's
got
the
to
start
start.
of it. Yes, sir. But
Love it.
I'm blessed.
Love it, man. Chase, this has been absolutely awesome. Like I said, this ain't a one-time thing. We got to jump on this more
Yeah,
often. And like I
for
said, I'm gonna get
sure.
you. I think if I got you, James, and Goog on one,
Man, get Google on, man.
this would be legit. Like this
And
would be
then it
something
would be
that
so
we could
legit,
start
but we're
setting up
all
some NIL type stuff going on
yeah,
here.
100%. And I think like we all come from different, backgrounds, but we
Yeah.
all are speaking the same language. So
Yep.
like it's
Yep.
it's
And it'd
just
be
it's
good to
cool, man.
get like your perspective, like you three guys' perspective on like, the games that are happening now. Like after we watch Sunday's film or Sunday games, like
Yeah,
what are you seeing on Sundays that you like, you don't like, and
yeah.
who you like, who's kind of surprising you, that kind of thing. Like we could get something going
Man,
here, man.
we
That'd
could
be really
definitely. I
cool.
think we could like, yeah. I would love that. I think it would
I'd
be
watch
great.
it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's cool, man. It's just because you got three guys that love the game. You got three
Yep.
guys that played it just at a high level and enjoy doing it. And I think it's cool, man. And
Yep.
so
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm
It's done
excited.
deal. We're doing
Yeah,
it, brother.
yeah,
All right, man. Can't thank you enough. We'll do it again soon. And God bless you. And best of luck to you. Stay healthy. Keep those quarterbacks right. And let's go
yeah.
dominate, man.
Appreciate it, G, man. Thank you for this interview, man. Again, just blessed, man. Just blessed with everything that happened. I know I talked about that word a lot, but just can't go without it. And I know we talked about faith earlier.
Yeah.
I just think, like God, shit. I didn't graduate college if it wasn't for that guy, and
Hmm.
it's just, I had one class left to graduate, and it was every Thursday. I was actually coaching at St. James during the time. Wasn't supposed to take the job because I told myself after leaving the USFL, I was like, look, this fall, I am just graduating college. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
coaching. I'm not training. I am dedicating this fall. to graduate in college.
Yep.
Then I go watch one of my quarterbacks play, and Coach David was like, "Hey, you want? I got a quarterback win. I'm like, you want it? I'm like, hell yeah, I want it. Yeah, like yeah, like wasn't even thinking about class. So then, long story
Right.
short, I have to go. And long story short, though, I would drive from Metairie. Again, this is a true story. I'll drive from Metairie to Thibodeau every Thursday for my class. And it was that same, I think it's St. Charles Borromeo, that church
Yep.
on Highway 1 you pass.
Yes.
I think. But for that 10 minutes, I'll pause the radio or pause the aux or pause the music that I got on. And for that 10 minutes, Grant, like I am talking to that guy up there. Like it just
Wow.
like and like that was the most realist conversation that I've ever every Thursday. Like I did not skip a beat. And it was, it was just, hey man, like get me through this exam or get me through this presentation. And that 96 slide presentation with 4 guys that we got to present for our final grade. Long
Wow.
story short, we get a 96A on it. I passed the class. I'm not saying it's because of him, but I'm just saying with the faith and with the belief and with the
Yeah.
confidence that look, I'm going to dominate this presentation. I'm
Yep.
going to dominate, this week of ball or this week of training. Like just and it would just be like, hey, what's up, guy? Like, man, I love you. Like, like just stuff like that. That just kind of
Yep.
I can be my own
Big
self.
picture, just
Big,
taking the weight off your shoulders, putting it
that's
in his
it.
hands.
Like it was just like, man, I need you. I'm coaching at St. James. Like this,
Yeah.
the tradition program, all that prestige. Chase, you need to graduate. You need to do you need to do your effort as far as the presentation so we can get ahead. And I got 3 other guys that depended on me.
Yep.
And then, obviously training quarterback, I got to make time for that as well. So all that stuff. And then I used to work at a tree lot business, selling Christmas trees in November to December, the last 3 years. I used to do that. And I was doing all that all at once. I
Yep.
gotta please the boss at the tree lot, and rest in peace, boss. But he would get pissed off. He's like, Chase, where you at? And I'm like, I'm on a Zoom call for my presentation, bro. I was like, I'm sorry. He'll get pissed off. But like, because he knows just, I'm a good salesman and selling trees and, just all
Yep.
this stuff. But that was just what I had going on at that time. And I'm not saying I'm not still doing that as far as talking to God, but no, they have a
Right.
great church service out here in Conway. It's called the Summit that I go to. And, just hearing that word and hearing it from somebody else's perspective of just
Hmm.
everyday life as far as just faith is it's unbelievable. And I think
Beautiful.
I'm guilty for it at times. I just need to dive deeper. I need to dive deeper into
Yep.
that side of it and just,
We all do. We all do.
yeah, we
We're
all
either
do.
taking one step forward or one step back every day. And,
That's
it is what it is,
that's
but we
it.
can't beat yourself up for it either. So
Exactly. Yeah, and I know that, but it's just that moment right there, passing St. Charles Borromeo, that fall semester.
love it.
I got a diploma, so it's
Hmm.
from
That was
Nicholls
that.
State University, man. So it's
Very good.
but yeah, I'll be down there on the 25th of October for the Hall
Okay.
of Fame game. So if you want to come, hear the speech or whatever, and at 10 o'clock in
Absolutely.
the morning. So it's
I will 100% be there. I will
yeah, it'll be
100% be there.
awesome,
I'm
man.
looking forward to it, man. And we'll connect
Yeah,
then too.
yes, sir. Grant, I appreciate you, man. I
I
appreciate you giving me this
appreciate you,
opportunity,
Chase.
man.